So Alex was talking about the use of the iPhone. You don't do it.
I still don't do it, no. I steal other people's videos.
So they know you pay, do they make you? They want it for the content?
They haven't told me.
Yeah.
When you kind of look at what's going on now in this process, are there any points that were similar at Cincinnati and Murray State you can kind of think about for perspective's sake?
Oh yeah. You know, it's a good point. You know, perspective is everything. You know, not just in building a program, but in life. You got, and I think that what I've learned is all you can focus. You have to have two things. You got to focus on helping the kids here and trying to get better every day. Then obviously, you have to have a master plan for what you want your business to look like. In 6 months or a year, and, everybody's successful running some sort of business does that. So, you have both of those. With your staff, you have your long-term plan, but you got to stay focused on your day-to-day stuff. You can't ride the waves. Win, lose, or draw. You got to just keep grinding it out on a daily basis and trying to help guys get better. And that would be something. I have experience in doing that, half and half. But not really at Murray State because I inherited some veterans that had won before, and they were really pretty ready-made group of guys. I just added a couple of kid guys, but Cincinnati was raising the Titanic.
Does that help you in a moment like this?
No. It doesn't help my I would say this, your strength is your weakness, so you're always, so your competitiveness and your disdain for losing is kind of what shapes you as a coach. But, that isn't always a good thing. It's not always a good thing, especially when you have to have perspective. And you got to stay focused on getting better. So you have to have enough maturity to balance it. So yeah, that's where having gone through it before, does get, when you've crawled through it before and come out at the other end of the tunnel, it does help you. Knowing that you have to crawl through it before you come out on the other end. It's not, because I've had both. Like I said, Murray State, we won, I was able, but it was just a different situation. I inherited guys that had won 20-something games the year before. They had been successful.
You talked about humility after that last game. Have you seen any of that since that game? Has anybody stepped up, said anything, or taken leadership roles or anything?
I think the guys, you have to ask them. They've done some talking amongst themselves. I've kind of tried to clarify every day what I mean by that. And again, back to your day-to-day. Your day-to-day is what gets you to where you want to be in 6 months or a year from now. There's got to be some hard, it's got to be some hard lessons learned of what we stand for, what we're going to stand for. That if you're going to be here, humility is required. Toughness is required. Doing whatever it takes to stop the other team is required. Those are just standards you have to set forth as a coach. You got to build that with, everybody that builds a program builds that within their program. Everybody, every winning sports team builds that.
Yeah, that non-conference is over. Do you see any positive progression out of the players that you've noticed?
We just haven't. There's been positives. We just don't have consistency. Obviously Tiger played really well in our last game. I'm sure he would tell you that probably would tell you that he's getting more confident. But what I would tell him is it's tougher in conference. It's not going to be. It's not going to be smooth sailing all the way, and I got to stick with him, and he's got to keep fighting. He's going to have ups and downs. He's got to keep fighting through it. So we've had some moments where we've done some good things. We just don't have consistency.
Do you think having Pac-12 having 2 games a week instead of one game a week this past couple of months of the non-conference, do you think that'll help with the consistency?
Oh, I don't know. I think what will help with our consistency is if our effort and our focus is consistent. You know, but I will tell you, all players would rather play than practice.
The Pac-12 seems like it's having a pretty good bounce back season overall. I think there's 7 teams already have 10 wins, 5 teams in the net top 30. For you, do you like that with what you're trying to do with this program, that the Pac-12 is strong this year, or would you rather have it maybe be a little bit more down to?
I think my career at the high level, was really, I've had the gamut of it. So I've seen both sides of it. I think that rising tide lifts all ships would be my vote. Was from my Big East days. Now it's brutal when it's that good. When you're ninth, you got a team that ties for 9th, 10th, and 11th and wins the national championship at 9-9. You got a team finish 7th and goes to the Final Four, 7th in their league, and was ranked. They were ranked. So it's tough, but I think it helps recruiting. I think it forces you to get better as a coach. It helped me as a coach coaching in that conference. And I think, here's when this is the danger if you stay down, people lose respect for your conference. And what I would tell you is, we fought, so when we fought that back when I was an assistant at Conference USA with Coach Huggins, Coach Patino, and then when we ended up in the American, when the Big East split, we were in the American. There was a year where SMU and Cincinnati were top 15 teams, top 20 teams, and we had to play UCLA and Sacramento in the second round as a 6th seed, and SMU got a terrible seed as well for what they should have gotten. So what lack of respect is a very dangerous thing, and it'll hurt you in your tournament seeding, for sure. So I think it's just, you're much better off. Sure, the grind is tougher, but if the Pac-12 can become the best conference in college basketball, it's only going to help all of us for a lot of reasons. Now, sure, it'll be tough, but you may not win as many games in conference, but it's going to help you in March. It's going to help you in recruiting, I think. At least that's what I saw in the Big East.
Have you met?
The old Big East.
I'm sorry. Have you met? Have you had practice yet since Saturday?
Every day.
How's the team bouncing back?
I thought about going on vacation, checking into a health spa, but I think kids are resilient. They're different than we are. Adults, we see big picture. We see buildings crumbling. Civilizations ending. Kids, young people don't think that way. They just don't. Not that they don't care. They're just resilient. I think it's, that hasn't really been a problem for those guys. So we've had some tough practices. Sunday, what's today? Tuesday. So Sunday and Monday we had a couple tough practices. We just, we just gotta keep pounding it out. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. We've got to find a way to get some defensive stops and give ourselves a chance to win games.
It seemed like that was your identity early in the season. Would
Yeah,
you like to
that's
maybe
why we
try to
won.
go back to that?
That's why we won. We never tried to get away from it.
Okay.
Yes, so I would love to, and we are trying. But I've talked about that for a month now. You got to show them when you do win, you have to reinforce why you won. Even when we won, our offense didn't beat Long Beach State in the opener. Our defense did.
Right.
Our rebounding did. That's why we were winning. And we've got to find a way to get back to that. As a coaching staff and as a team. You guys may have more questions, but I think, one of the last things I'll share with you, I think, at the end of the day, what frustrates me is people say to me, well, it's not your players. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I'm the coach at UCLA. They're here. They're my players. So it's my job to get them there. And you can't separate yourself from your team. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that at all. So, you know, I believe in the word we. So, you know, we're in here every day. It's our coaching staff. We have to get them to do what we want them to do. That's our job.
Well, adding to that, I mean, you didn't recruit these players, but are they doing what you're requiring? Are they turning into Cronin players?
At times, I think, you know, it's just sustaining it has been our challenge. You know, can we sustain it? And it's my job to teach them how to sustain it. But like I said at the beginning, you know, that it's a lot harder to become that type of team than people really understand. You know, hiring me and saying we're going to play defense is one thing. Being able to go out there and grind it out and get stops and possession by possession, it's time consuming. You know, like I said, you know, I didn't build Cincinnati in one day. You know, it didn't happen overnight. You know, sometimes you inherit a team of guys that have had habits of that. You know, and in fairness to these guys, you know, that wasn't their identity. So we're trying to change our identity, and with a lot of young players. And that's your challenge, because what happens is inexperience and fatigue are the two reasons you have mistakes. Inexperience and fatigue. And then what happens is, so you have to play tired players, or you have to play players that haven't been through the wars to where they can focus and grind it out and not make the mistakes. You don't have to fall off. That's when you'll be able to shut people down. So I mean, what we're going through is brutal, but we have to go through it. It just has to happen. I mean, it's like you know, if you're gonna become a certain type of, you're gonna pack on 40 pounds of muscle. You know, you're not gonna drink a shake. You're gonna have to grind it out every day in the weight room, and there's gonna be pain involved. So obviously, you know, there's some pain involved in what we're going through. So we need to make sure that we feel it. That's the biggest thing I would say. That, you know, we have to. It has to be painful, or we won't, or we won't come out on the other end. It has to be painful.
Two-part question, but they're similar.
Let's make sure Alex approves first.
I wasn't here last game. It looked like Sharif didn't get much playing time in that. Was there any reason for that in particular? Was it a rotation thing? Or?
Strategy that, you know, that we're playing. You know, again, you play those small teams that are running 4-out offenses. Right now, his strength obviously is not defense at the 3-point line. Just strategy. And then playing him at the 5 was tough because they had some older, physically stronger guys. They weren't really jumpers, but they were great leverage guys. Again, not his strength.
And then piggybacking off of that, the rotation. Would you like to get to a point where you shorten that here at some point soon, or?
I'd like to. First of all, I think if you got guys on scholarship and they all can play, it's going to help you. Your depth is your friend. But right now, for me, it's just I'm searching too much. You know, who can you count on? You know, that's where back to inexperience and fatigue. You know, who can you count on? You gotta have guys. You gotta have some guys you can count on. You know, that's the guy that's going to be in the game. So right now, it's not searching for a rotation. It's searching for 5 guys can get a stop. All right, guys.
Thank you so much.